and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway books. And in today's video, I will be continuing my Broadway show series where I talk about every Broadway show I ever got to see. So normally in the series of my channel, I go over a few things, such as who was in the cast and my performance, who was on the creative team, how I liked the show, anything in the playbill. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's show. So today I'll be talking about the 38th Broadway show I ever got to see, which is when I saw the Broadway musical Movin' Out. So I saw the show in October of 2003 at the Richard Rodgers Theater, and in case you didn't know, the Broadway smash hit Hamilton is currently playing at this theater. So now I'll get on to what's in the playbill. So here is a page with lead and supporting performers. So when Moving Out was on Broadway, as far as Wednesday and Saturday matinees, there would be a different cast of performers playing the lead and supporting roles. And I went to a Wednesday matinee, so I didn't see anybody on this page. Scott Weiss actually did normally do matinees, but he wasn't at my performance. So I'll just share the understudy slips I have now. So this is normally the point of the video where I'll go over any names I may recognize from having seen them in other Broadway shows, or maybe since Moving Out, or maybe before Moving Out. So that's what I'll do now. So there were actually 3 performers in Moving Out when I saw it. They were actually in one of my favorite Broadway shows of all time, Saturday Night Fever. And so I actually didn't remember that off the top of my head, so it's really cool to relearn that. So Michael Balderrama, Elaine Barraquette, and Kareem Padet-Bagot. Yeah, they were all in Saturday Night Fever on Broadway before they did Moving Out, and anytime anyone from one of my favorite shows is in another show, I'm going to point it out. So that's what I just did. And Kareen actually went on to play the role of Brenda in my performance, so that was really cool. And now for the creative team. So Twyla Tharp conceived the show, and of course Billy Joel wrote the music lyrics, as all the songs in the show were songs from Billy Joel. And Twyla Tharp was actually the director and choreographer for the show. So as far as how I like the show, I absolutely loved Moving Out. It was like a really amazing show. Yeah, at this point on Broadway, I think it had been playing for about a year, and a bus trip came along for the show, and I was so excited because I really wanted to see the show, and it did not disappoint. I would definitely categorize this show as very much a dance-based jukebox musical, where the story is told through both dance and song, but not in the way you would expect. On stage, all the performers would be dancing the story. The story was very much told partially through dance, and then up above them on stage was a live band also telling the story through song. And just the two together, the way the show was conceived and performed was just absolutely fantastic and remarkable. And you know, a lot of times jukebox musicals, you know, they're dismissed a lot of times as being like, you know, easy shows to put together, you know, whatever. But it actually takes a lot of smarts and dedication to put on a really good and well done jukebox musical. And this show was definitely like amazingly well done. And just the fact that the story was told through already established songs from Billy Joel, and they were told in a way that actually told a story. Just like it was just amazing, honestly. And you know, because these are songs that weren't originally meant to be in a story for a show. So it was really, really well done. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely amazing. The dancing was just remarkable. And yeah, it was just a show I was really appreciative to get to see, because I didn't think I would get to see it. So yeah, I really liked it. Had a great time. And as far as pointing out maybe any favorite musical numbers, I mean, Billy Joel, you know, has an amazing catalog of music, and it'd be silly to point out one song over the other, because all the songs in the show are amazing, as all of Billy Joel's songs are amazing. So yeah, great score, obviously. But now I'll just get on to anything in the playbill. I'm not gonna show a lot, really anything, because the last show I talked about was Urinetown the musical, which I saw actually within the same week that I saw Moving Out. So I saw that as a Saturday matinee, saw this as a Wednesday matinee. I got to see 2 shows in less than a week. Wow, what a moment in time when I was getting to see 2 shows in less than a week. Yeah. I miss those days. Anyway, the Playbills go monthly, so I showed a lot in the last video when I talked about Urinetown with the Playbill, so I'm not going to show anything today because it's the same stuff. But I will show what I always show, just for my own memory. October 2003 is when I saw Moving Out. Yeah, so if you've made it to this point of the video, thank you so very much for watching me talk about seeing my 38th Broadway show, which was when I saw Moving Out. What was really great about this day in the city was, I got to see a great show that I really liked, but I was actually in the city the same day that the Biltmore Theater reopened on Broadway, which now goes by the Samuel J. Friedman Theater. And yeah, I mean, I just happened to be in the city that day. I signed up for a bus trip, which was for Moving Out. So, I went to see the show with my mom. As me and my mom were walking down the street, we saw like this large crowd of people by the Biltmore Theater, which is now the Samuel J. Friedman Theater, and they were having like a reopening ceremony. So I got to be there the day that theater reopened on Broadway, which is very much ironic because that is a theater to this day that I still have never seen a show in. But, maybe one day. But it was really cool to get to, see what a reopening of a Broadway theater was like. It was just a really fun experience. They had speeches. Mayor Bloomberg was there. I think he spoke at the ceremony. I remember Liv Shriver was there. And then at the end of like when all the speeches were over, there was like confetti. Like it was like New Year's Eve. And then like maybe a half hour or so later, me and my mom walked by the theater again. And the first show that was supposed to open at that theater was called The Violet Hour, which was a new show at the time that was written by the same playwright who wrote Take Me Out, Richard Greenberg. And it had a cast that like I really liked, and I really wanted to see this show. Robert Sean Leonard was in this show, Jasmine Guy, Scott Foley, who was on one of my favorite TV shows of all time growing up, Felicity. And I really wanted to see the show because, like I said, Felicity is one of my favorite TV shows. To get to see somebody from Felicity in a TV show, that would have been everything. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, when me and my mom, we walked by the theater as we were making our way to this show, two of the actors that were in the show, Scott Foley and another actor, Dagmara, I can't pronounce her last name. I'm not even going to try, but she was on the TV show Succession. Yeah, they were just like standing near the theater, and unless it's like a stage or after performance, I usually don't go up to an actor or performer that I see or recognize because I don't want to bother anyone, but it's Scott Foley. He was on Felicity, my favorite TV show ever. And so I went up and I said hi and said how Felicity was one of my favorite TV shows ever. And, he was really nice. Dagmara was really nice. And it was really cool that I got to meet him because I never ended up getting to see the Violet Hour, even though I really wanted to see it. But yeah, that was just like a fun memory also from my day of seeing Moving Out on Broadway. And it's just ironic that I've still never seen a show at that theater yet. I think there's only two theaters on Broadway that I haven't seen a show in, the Ambassador Theater and that theater, which is, like annoying because I was there the day it reopened, but, whatever, it happens. But yeah, if you made it to this point of the video, like I said, thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll just point out now my next Broadway show. I almost forgot to do that. So the 39th Broadway show that I will be talking about, as it's the next Broadway show I got to see, was when I saw The Boy from Oz, starring Hugh Jackman. Great show, can't wait to talk about it. So that's the next Broadway show I will be talking about in this series. Although the next video I will be making on my channel that has to do with theater will not be my next Broadway show, as I saw 3 shows in October 2003. 2 of them were on Broadway shows, like I mentioned in the series already, Urinetown and Moving Out. And the third show I saw was when I saw my first off-Broadway show, which was Fame, the musical. So that will be the first video in my new upcoming off-Broadway show series of all the off-Broadway shows I got to see over the years, which is not as many as the Broadway shows. But I decided when I was making, my Broadway show series, I decided instead of talking about all the Broadway shows I've seen, waiting for this series to finish before I started the off-Broadway show series, I rather talk about the shows in the order that I saw them. Just for me, I just like that way of doing it better. So yeah, the 39th show I'll be talking about, which will be the next show in the series, will be The Boy from Oz. But my next video on my channel that has to do with theater will be my first video in my off-Broadway show series of all the off-Broadway shows I got to see over the years. So yeah. Anyway, if you made it to this point of the video, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time, bye.